I recently had a new student, and whenever I meet somebody for the first time, I ask them, what is it that you are looking for? And he said he wants freedom from the mind. And I said, okay, that makes sense. If you want freedom from the mind, that means the mind is kind of like a jail. So if you were in jail and you wanted to break free, what would you do? You would learn every single thing there is to learn about that jail. You would learn all the exits. You would learn if there's some type of secret exit or somewhere you could dig an exit. You would learn about the guards, which guards are going to maybe turn their head, which guard you could pay off, which guard is gonna tell the warden. You learn every single aspect of that prison. That's the only way that you can gain freedom. The mind is like that. If you want to gain freedom from the mind, you have to learn about how the mind works. You have to learn the mechanics of the mind. And when you understand how the mind works, you can easily gain freedom from it. The mind is kind of like a camera. If I've never seen a camera before, I've never worked a camera, and somebody came up to me and they wanted me to shoot a movie. And they just handed me the camera, turned it on, and said action. Well, how's my movie gonna turn out? It's gonna be blurry, it's gonna be confusing, it's just gonna be bad because nobody taught me how to use the camera. The mind is just like that. Because we have never been taught how the mind works, our life turns out to be chaotic. Our life turns out to be like it's not within our control because we've never been taught. But if somebody taught me how to use that camera, if somebody gave me the manual for that camera, if somebody showed me how that camera operates, I can create the movie the way that I want to create it. The mind is just like that. When you know how the mind operates, you can create your life to be exactly how you want it to be. The mind is just a tool you are supposed to use for your benefit, kind of like a chainsaw. I've never used a chainsaw ever in my life. And if somebody handed me a chainsaw and they wanted me to go cut a tree outside, I would 100% injure myself and everybody around me. However, I have seen people take a chainsaw and create one of the most beautiful pieces of art just with a tree and a chainsaw. That's because that artist has learned how to use that chainsaw. The mind is just like that. If you haven't learned how to use the mind, you are going to create chaos in your life. You are going to feel powerless in your life, and you are going to cause harm to yourself and people around you. But once you learn how the mind works, you can create the most beautiful life for yourself, exactly the way you want it to be. The mind is just an instrument that you're supposed to use for your benefit, like any other part of your body, like your legs. If you wanted to run, you instruct your legs to run. If you want to jump or hop or skip or any of that, you tell your legs to do that. And your hands. If I want to send a text message, if I want to write a letter, if I want to throw a ball, I instruct my hands to do that. But if my hand just picked up a knife and started stabbing me and hurting me, I know something is wrong. The mind is the same. If you criticize yourself, if you belittle yourself, if you judge yourself, if you feel pain and shame and guilt, if you are depressed or anxious, the mind is not doing what you want it to do. There's a problem. The mind just needs healing. And the reason why people suffer so much in the mind is because they are trying to control their thoughts. And then when they can't control their thoughts, they criticize how they think, they judge how they think, they get lost in those thoughts, or they allow those thoughts to completely take over their personality. Let me be the one to tell you, you cannot control your thoughts because your thoughts are automatic. The reason why you think and feel the way that you do is because you hold belief systems in the mind. Belief systems gives your mind instructions on how to think, on how to feel. If you want to start healing yourself, You have to understand how the mind works. There are two types of thoughts that you have right now. You have an automatic thought and you have a thought that you can create. Your automatic thoughts come from your belief systems. The majority of your belief systems were created during childhood because that is the first time that the mind is experiencing life. So those are going to be some of the most profound belief systems. When you have an experience, that experience has to go through that filter of the belief system. This is why you may experience depression. This is why you may belittle yourself. This is why you may feel lonely. It is because of these automatic thoughts that are created from your belief systems. The other type of thought that we have are created thoughts. So you have the automatic thoughts and you have your created thoughts. Created thoughts are the ones that you consciously and intentionally create, not the automatic thoughts. You can use your automatic thoughts and your created thoughts to create healing in your life. When an automatic thought arises, these thoughts are the thoughts that you did not create. These thoughts are the ones that just arise randomly, the mean things that your mind says to you, your inner critic. Those automatic thoughts are not there for you to get lost in. Those automatic thoughts are not there for you to believe. Those automatic thoughts are there to be a guide. They are a guide letting you know where the mind needs healing. That's it. When those certain thoughts start to arise, just look at those thoughts. Pay a little bit more attention to those thoughts, not getting lost in the thoughts, but just looking at them, becoming a bystander of your inner critic. That will lead you to your healing because that is letting you know where the mind has limited beliefs. That is all your painful thoughts are there for, to guide you to your limited beliefs. Use your mean thoughts. Use the pain in your life to be a guide, to be a clue to lead you to your healing. And when you discover these limited thoughts, then you can use the other gift that we have been given, was the ability to create thought. You can create thought to create new belief systems in your life, the same way that those belief systems were created when you were a child. The only difference is that you are an adult now and you can create the belief systems that align with your greatest self, that align with the life that you want to create for yourself. So you use your automatic thoughts. Those are the thoughts that come from your belief systems. You use those as clues. You use those as messages. That is it. Do not get lost in your thoughts. Do not believe your thoughts. Use them as the guide. They are a guide to tell you which thoughts you need to create. This is how you create a new reality for yourself. This is why painful emotions hurt so much. This is why anxiety hurts so much. This is why depression hurts so much. This is why rejection hurts so much. This is why guilt and shame hurt so much. It's not for you to get lost in those emotions. They hurt to get your attention. It's the same reason why a gunshot hurts so much more than a paper cut, because that gunshot needs your attention. Healing needs to be had right now. That is why your painful emotions exist. They do not exist to just let you just be a sad person, to let you go deeper into the depression. It exists to get your attention, to let you know that it's time to heal. And if you don't pay attention to those painful thoughts, if you don't do something to start healing your mind and healing your body, it will create dis-ease in the body. This is why disease exists. So again, the only reason why these painful emotions, why you have painful, difficult thoughts, it is just a message that the mind needs healing. And the more pain that you experience within, the more difficult your thoughts are. That is just the body, that is the mind trying to get your attention. It's letting you know that it is time to heal. It is time to learn how this body works, how your mind and your thoughts release certain chemicals in your body that can make you sick. This is only a message for you. It is not for you to go deep into them and think that this is your reality and there's no hope. There's no control. That's a lie. You can heal yourself. You just have to understand how this mind works. You have to discover your limited beliefs. All your limited beliefs are just those painful things that your mind says to you all the time. You use that information to create kinder or more loving thoughts. And your brain is a program. The brain doesn't care if you're happy. The brain doesn't care if you're depressed. It is just taking direction. It's just saying, okay, this is how we are. This is how we're programmed. That's it. So if you can focus on where the mind needs healing, you program the brain to be that way. This is why affirmations are so powerful, and it's not just something that you're saying to yourself over and over and over again. When you can think and feel those affirmations, you are creating belief systems the exact same way you created them when you were a child. However, when you were a child, they were created unintentionally. You didn't know that this is what was happening to you when you were 8 years old, and you were just trying to protect yourself from all of the abuse and neglect and the chaos in your house. You didn't know that you were creating these limited belief systems. Today, you can create new empowering belief systems that align with your greatest self. You don't have to live in your suffering. You don't have to live in your pain. You just have to understand and learn what limited belief systems were created in your mind. This is why you can stop fighting the mind and you use those painful thoughts. Use those painful emotions for your benefit, because that's why they are there. They're just trying to get your attention. They're letting you know that it is time to heal. I am going to show you how to handle your painful thoughts to create healing in your life. So let's say one of the thoughts that constantly come up in your mind is, I am not enough. Let me tell you, anything that your mind says to you that creates pain, the mind is lying. It's just been programmed to think that way. Don't believe it. Remind yourself that you need to just program the mind to be more loving. That was something that your mind learned a long time ago. That is in the past. That is not your present, and that surely will not be your future. You can heal yourself. And if your mind says, I am not enough, use that information where it says, okay, this is where the mind needs healing. You can use that information to guide you of what type of thoughts you need to create in the future, what type of loving thoughts, because the mind has been abused. The mind has been neglected. So now it's time to show the mind some attention, to show the mind some compassion. I am enough. And I want you to not just think it. I need you to feel it. Because your mind learned I am not enough because it thought it and it felt it. That is how belief systems are created. It thinks, the mind thinks it, and then the mind feels it. Or the mind feels it, and then the mind creates a meaning behind it. Okay? That is how belief systems are created. So you can use affirmations to create new belief systems, but you have to think it and feel it. If you constantly say to yourself over and over, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough, but you are just saying it and you are not feeling it, it gets stuck in the brainstem. That's it. It doesn't go anywhere else in the brainstem. We are trying to change this entire mechanism. We're trying to heal the mind, but we are also trying to heal the body because your emotions are in your body. So if you want to create healing over the entire systems, when you say your affirmations, you have to say them in the mind and you must feel them. When you feel your affirmations, I am enough, the brain drops chemicals into your body that creates hormonal balance. So you are literally healing the body and healing the mind. When a painful thought arises inside of you, I don't care what it is, I am not worthy of love, I am always going to be broke, whatever it is, use that as your guide and create affirmations that are the exact opposite of what your mind is saying to you to create new belief systems That's all we are trying to do right now, is to combat those belief systems that were created when you were a child, and to create new ones the way that you want to be, the life that you want to live. So use your painful emotions as guides, as clues to create affirmations. And again, you have to think it and you have to feel it to heal the whole system and to create new belief systems. And again, the mind doesn't care if you're happy or if you're sad. It just goes based on how it's trained. And if you got to say these affirmations multiple times to get that brain understanding, then that's what we're going to have to do. You have to put in that work to heal. You want a healthy body? When you go work out, do you just work out for one day and then you're ripped and ready to go? No, you got to work out every single day. You have to create a habit. The same thing with the mind. You have to create a habit on the thoughts that you choose to create. That is how you create your reality. You have to choose more loving thoughts. That is how the training process works. Do it every single day. And if you want to combat those limited beliefs, those beliefs that tell you that you are not enough, that you are ugly, that you are not smart, that you will never be successful, that you will never amount to anything, whatever lies that you were told as a child, if you want to combat that, you have to create affirmations. Affirmations that will make new belief systems, that will heal you, that will create joy in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this information was helpful to you. Please like, subscribe, share this with a loved one if you think it's helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye.